Hello, friends. The 1,351 day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. The situation in the Pokrovsk area remains critical, writes Deep State. According to the Telegram channel, the Russian army continues to amass forces in the city, where they are being permanently consolidated. At the same time, Deep State writes, the city is gradually being absorbed, where the Russians already control the area, establish positions, have amassed areas, and control their logistics for infiltration. The enemy is also attempting to take control of the area between Pokrovsk and Hryshyne, while simultaneously attempting to reach the latter. Physical clearing operations by special teams are actively continuing in this area, as this is a key logistics area for Pokrovsk. However, this does not solve the main problem, blocking the enemy on the southern outskirts, making it impossible to penetrate the city. Given that the Russians are already establishing positions there and taking control of the area, this opportunity has essentially been lost, the Telegram channel writes. The situation remains critical. And if in the context of Pokrovsk we're talking about the city's absorption, then Myrnohrad is simply cut off from the outside world, and its loss would be the most unfortunate of all the major cities, because it would be taken without even properly securing a foothold, Deep State adds. A Ukrainian soldier with the call sign Muchnoy writes that the essence of the Russian strategy in Pokrovsk is to lure Ukrainian armed forces units toward Myrnohrad. In this way they're pushing us out of these high rises and south of Myrnohrad, narrowing the front and encircling us, where maneuver and evacuation will be impossible. Once the units are in the heart of Myrnohrad, the enemy will be able to block exits and increase pressure. The goal could be mass surrenders, or worse. Because essentially, there will be no chance of escaping, the soldier wrote. The German newspaper Bild, citing Ukrainian military personnel, reports a high probability of Pokrovsk being encircled. One of the soldiers stated that the situation had become extremely difficult, and it was unclear to what extent encirclement could be prevented, or whether a withdrawal was even possible. Another soldier stated that some units were already almost surrounded. The situation is extremely dire. We've lost 80% of the city. We're still fighting for 20%, but we're losing there too. The guys in Myrnohrad and further south are in an even worse situation. They're practically surrounded, the soldier said. A Ukrainian soldier in Myrnohrad confirmed this. Even if we'd received the order to retreat, we probably wouldn't have survived it. It's likely none of us will reach Rodinsky alive. It's better to stay put and allow ourselves to be liberated or captured eventually, the soldier stated. Another officer said the counteroffensives were too small and too late. They should have done this a month ago, when the first Russians entered the city. Now it's useless and only costs us men, the officer said. A Ukrainian diplomat who spoke to the publication drew parallels with the defense of Bakhmut. The situation is similar. We heroically defend ourselves, claiming that Russia is in a worse position than it claims, and then retreat. You always see reconnaissance units deployed to defend the city when the battle is nearing its end, the diplomat said. At the same time, Zelensky's responsibility is being discussed, once again accused of failing to ensure the withdrawal of Ukrainian troops, which should have occurred long ago, the article states. Zelensky supporters say that holding Pokrovsk despite the losses is important, in part to avoid damaging his reputation internationally, especially with Trump. Rumors circulate in Ukraine that Zelensky is currently especially careful not to appear militarily weak to Trump, lest he distance himself from Ukraine. The loss of Pokrovsk and Myrnohrad could have negative symbolic consequences in terms of Washington's support. At the same time, the Ukrainian General Staff is refusing to acknowledge the criticality of the situation. Yesterday, the General Staff stated that, as of today, there are no cities in the Pokrovsk-Myrnohrad agglomeration encircled or besieged by Russian forces. Drone expert Flesh believes that the authorities have decided to hold Pokrovsk to the last. A military political decision has been made to hold the Pokrovsk-Myrnohrad agglomeration, for as long as possible. All available reserves will be deployed for this purpose. From a military standpoint, holding Pokrovsk is important because it offers the Russians virtually flat territory deep into the Dnipropetrovsk region. I personally continue to hold the opinion that no position is worth human lives, and I hope that if the need arises to rescue people, it will be done in a timely manner, writes Flash.
Friends, I want to develop and strive for higher quality content, but my 2009 computer does not allow me to do this. If you have the opportunity to help me buy a new computer and make my dream come true, I will be very grateful to you. You will find the link in the description under the video and in the pinned comment. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.